Hey Bladers, it's Frost, aka The Competitive Gamer, and I'm back with another Let's Talk Beyblade. As usual, if you like these videos, please be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, burst the Beyblade, whatever it is that you guys do. Alright, so last Let's Talk Beyblade, I did mention that I did have product on the way and that I would be doing a unboxing video as the next Beyblade video on the channel. Now, I did get the product. It's all right here. And there will be an unboxing probably after this video or maybe the next video after a long-awaited tournament analysis video. But for this video, or rather the reason I'm doing a Let's Talk Beyblade first is that there has been a update to the definition of spinning. Now, with that update, I have gotten a lot of messages regarding what exactly is different, say, between this new definition of spinning and the older definition, and what exactly does this definition change. I've seen just a couple of message or posts on the forums, and shout out to Beyblade Blast and Crisis Crusher, as they did mention to me that it was probably a good idea to do a video on the channel about this. I was just going to mention it briefly, but yeah, video is a good idea. So first, I'm gonna just let a combo spin out, and this actually has nothing to do with spinning, though depending on what happens with this combo, it will have something to do with the updated definition of spinning. So first, what is the older definition of spinning? Well, the old definition of spinning was pretty long, and just to sum it up, a Beyblade was considered to be spinning as long as it was visibly rotating to any degree along its axis or its central axis, which was the axis running directly through the center of the Beyblade, faster than it was rotating along the stadium floor in the same direction. And there was a note that a complete rotation was not needed for a Beyblade to be considered spinning, and also that rotating along the stadium floor alone was considered to be rolling, and that therefore a Beyblade was no longer to be considered spinning if it was rolling. And there was also some note about some Beyblade parts allowing the upper half to continue to spin while the bottom half of the Beyblade has stopped, and that that was still considered to be spinning, and also that if a Beyblade stopped spinning and then started spinning again, then the match did not resume. So that was a fairly long definition that presented a lot of problems with judging whether a Beyblade was spinning or not. You had cases where a Beyblade would sort of do this thing where it rocks, so there was confusion. Is the Beyblade rocking or is it not? Is the Beyblade spinning or is it just rotating? Is that a complete spin? Things like that when it came to judging whether a Beyblade was spinning or not. Now, the new definition of spinning is a lot more brief and a lot more to the point. And the new definition is verbatim: a Beyblade is still considered to be spinning so long as the top half of it is visibly moving in the same spin direction it was launched in. If a Beyblade starts spinning again after it has stopped, the round does not resume as the round has already concluded. So that is the new definition, and it is a lot shorter and a lot more to the point. So what exactly does this new definition change? Well, for one, and I'll try to make this this Beyblade do it. At the end of matches, sometimes you would have a Beyblade do something like that, right there. And there would be some question as to whether that is a rock, or rather, not really questions, but judges would call that as rocking and therefore not spinning. And the person whose Beyblade it was would usually be upset about that call. With the new definition, if a Beyblade is spinning and it does that at the end of the match, this movement here, where it goes that way, is still considered to be moving in the same direction in which it was launched. Therefore, that Beyblade is still considered to be spinning. Now, when the Beyblade comes back this way, it's no longer spinning anymore, as it's no longer in the same direction. So if you have two Beyblades that do that, whichever one does that last wins. That may add a little bit more complication. It's not intended to. It's just meant to state that when a Beyblade does that at the end of a match, it is still considered to be spinning or moving in the same direction. The next thing that this sort of improves upon is the weird definition of it has to be moving faster to its center axis than it is rotating along the stadium floor. Now, for a Beyblade to be rotating along the stadium floor, the Beyblade has to be spinning. Yeah, there's a lot of technicalities with spinning and rotating and all of those things, but for a Beyblade to be rotating along the stadium floor, and I'll do it this way, as I know my hand might be in the way. So if it's moving along the stadium floor, unless it's just moving without spinning, something like this pattern here, and yeah, something like that, where it's not spinning at all, I can see where that part of the definition can come into play. But if a Beyblade is sort of, I guess, falling, like if it's up here and it rolls down, that's what it is, rolls. They would say it's rolling, not spinning. Well, in order for a Beyblade to roll, technically it has to spin. But all of this is to say that those movements where it's maybe rolling and not spinning, as long as it's rolling, or whatever you want to call it, in the same direction in which it was launched, it is still considered to be moving in that direction, and thus still considered to be valid spinning. So again, if a Beyblade is just rolling around the stadium floor, as long as it's in the same direction that it was launched in, then it is still spinning. Now, if at some point in time it gets hit and it starts rolling the opposite direction, well, it's no longer spinning in the direction that it was launched in, and therefore the Beyblade, or the round, has ended, as the Beyblade is no longer moving in the same direction. So those are the two main things that this definition fixes. And how does that affect rounds, battles, matches, and whatnot? Well, honestly, I think this makes it a lot easier to call some of those matches where before they will be called draws, and then there would be a infinite amount of draws previously to the addition of the new maximum match limit and the new 2 consecutive draw rule. Even with those, sometimes matches can go pretty long with draws. So this makes it a lot easier to call winners in those stamina or opposite spin matchups where a lot of times draws would be called. So that is one plus. The next plus is with the simplicity of this definition and the usage of the word moving in the same direction it was launched in, as opposed to using words like spinning or rotating, rolling, what have you. It makes it a lot more clear as to the actual intention behind the definition of spinning, and when a match is necessarily over when it comes to outspinning your opponent's Beyblade. So that will be the end of this video. I really do hope that this clarifies the intention behind this definition and kind of explains sort of what the difference is between this new definition and the older definition, and also explains how it improves the state of the game today and helps with calling some of those harder to call matchups. All right, again, if you like these videos, please be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, burst your opponent Beyblade, all of those other good things. Thanks, guys.